Hello and welcome to The Well-Dressed Mind, where we explore the intersection of personal style and professional success. I'm your host, Lindsay Nicholas. In this series, we'll have honest conversations with accomplished individuals, leaders, creatives, entrepreneurs about how they've built their lives, their careers, and their identities. Because style isn't just what you wear, it's how you show up to the world. It's a signal of self-worth, a reflection of values, and sometimes a quiet source of power. Here, fashion isn't frivolous, it's foundational, and I can't wait to share these stories with you. Nita Shinsky is a Fort Worth woman who has built two parallel careers in real estate, as a land agent for the city of Fort Worth and as a broker-owner of Shinsky & Associates Real Estate, while maintaining a genuine commitment to her community through over a decade of volunteer work with the American Red Cross. As a land agent for the city of Fort Worth, Nita manages lakefront property on Lake Worth, oversees leasing compliance, coordinates land closings, and works directly with city council members to address community needs. As a broker-owner of Shinsky & Associates, she has spent 17 years in multifamily property, REO management, earning recognition as a mega agent among her peers. Nita and her husband Sam are two of our most loyal and beloved clients in Fort Worth, and notably both recently appeared in our Lindsay Nicholas New York campaign that we shot right here in Clear Fork. Welcome to The Well-Dressed Mind, Nita.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's such an absolute pleasure. We have a little thunder in the background.
Yeah.
We're having a little stormy morning here in Fort Worth. But Nita, so you've built, as we talked about, you've built two really distinct careers in real estate. So you've done it simultaneously. You've done it in the public sector. You've managed city-owned lakefront properties. One is a broker owner while running your own firm. How do you balance this? How do you balance two, and perhaps we could even go into like three parallel careers with all of your volunteer work. So talk to us, how do you manage all of this?
Gosh, so honestly, a lot of it is family support.
Okay.
To be fair, I have two amazing, great kids and an amazing partner who support all of the craziness that I go through on a daily basis. Real estate is very uniquely fun for me. Working for the city of Fort Worth was just kind of a natural progression for me to be able to really address what those residents on Lake Worth need. Has been a blessing.
Okay. And you're doing a lot of work around ethics as well.
Yes.
So you talk to us about that, because it's such a hot topic these days, you know, and I know just like when I was going to school, ethics was because I studied broadcast journalism, ethics was such a big part of what we learned. You know, it's so integral to business. And sometimes these days it feels like maybe people are walking away from ethics a bit. So talk to us about that journey.
So when I first started in real estate, I was very fortunate to join a brokerage that had a broker that was extremely active in the association, the local association that I was under. And so it was just natural for me to volunteer for committees, and professional standards, code of ethics was just a natural thing for me, because for real estate agents, you know, for so long, we were known as the used car salespeople, you know, just trying to get the deal done, always out for the buck. And we're trying to really make sure that image is really not what we're about. We really are there for the clients that we're serving.
Yeah. And so take me through that journey. So when you're talking to real estate agents, what's the format? Like, how do you teach ethics?
So we have 17 codes that we have to abide by as realtors. And I just try to explain the importance of why we have those codes. Not only for the public, but for each other as agents. And you know, the newer agents that are coming in, I think really appreciate the idea of the necessity for that training when they first get in.
So what types of things would be like some of the codes? We don't want to go through all 17 codes, but can you just talk to some of the things that they're learning and how they're really reacting to it?
So honestly, the biggest thing that I hope that they take away from me teaching them these codes is communication. Transparent communication, and knowing that you really do have a duty to the people that you're working for and the public to be honest and transparent. And then to make sure that it isn't just your interests that you're protecting, but it's really the client that you're representing. Somewhat similar to, I mean, I hate to even put this out there, but somewhat similar to an attorney. Yeah.
And then you're doing all this amazing work with American Red Cross.
Yes.
So what's that journey about? Talk to us about what kind of work you do, the people that you're meeting, and also, I guess, how you you change or you don't change from the person you are as a real estate professional when you're going and doing this volunteer work? Is it the same Nita that's showing up for that, or are there two different ways maybe that you present yourself within those environments?
No, I think it's really the same.
Okay.
I enjoy helping people. When I started with the Red Cross, it was more for disaster relief,
Okay.
tornadoes, things like that.
Was there a particular incident that made you go to Red Cross? Did something particular happen, or was it just an organization that you always had an affinity for?
So I love storm chasing.
Okay.
That extreme thing is just like exciting to me. So I started with doing the storm chasing training that the local news department put on. And that kind of morphed into, because American Red Cross was there. And so I volunteered for that. I would love to do like the major disaster relief, though it's not glamorous, because a lot of times they send you to an exotic place, but you're not staying in exotic places because there's no electricity, there's no running water. I would love to have the ability and financial stability to do something like that. But for me, it's for Red Cross, I ended up volunteering a lot at the Naval Base or the Joint Reserve Base and supporting the military there because, you know, I'm a huge military family. And so that was kind of a natural progression for me in the Red Cross, because I also love to represent the military when it comes to buying and selling their property too. So it was just natural for me to, I don't know, I think as a realtor, even as working for the city of Fort Worth, we're kind of servant in our career, I guess. And so the volunteering is just kind of a natural thing.
Yeah. And leading from behind, I think, too, is really important.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like, when you're working with people in real estate, you're actually helping people at a time, obviously, they're transitioning, they're looking for new property, but it can be a really exciting time. Like, there's so much optimism, and then you're going to a place where people are actually experiencing the worst possible thing that could happen in their life, which is where the Red Cross comes in. So it's such a juxtaposition, I imagine.
Yes.
And seeing people at their best and seeing people at their worst. Yeah. So
and helping them through that transition too, because I see a whole lot of my real estate life has been foreclosures. So helping them transition from just the fact that they lost their home in whatever situation they're going through to what does that look like from there. I have seen, I had I guess it was the pleasure of meeting a lady who was a single mom. She had lost her home. That's how I met her. I had to evict her. She grew out of that, became a realtor herself.
Oh, wow.
Had a very successful career. So that was exciting to see. We connected through social media. And so I got to like see her recover and like really become something, saw her little children kind of grow up. That was kind of cool. So I've met some really great people through like the bad part of real estate, but it was exciting for me to be able to see her really come out of that.
And so we know you. So Nita shops at Lindsay Nicholas, New York, and that's how we met.
Yes.
And you came into the store quite a while ago now. It was probably 6 or 7 months ago, maybe even longer than that. You came into the store and the team immediately fell in love with you. You're just one of those people, you just give off such amazing energy. And actually, Allie on our team, I know she was working with you and she was actually snapping me pictures. And it's like, you have to meet this woman. And then you've been shopping with us for a while and actually met you for the first time just recently, over the last couple months. And when I met you, your energy is just so incredibly amazing. And we said, we need to have this woman in our photo shoots when we shot recently, just as someone that really represents the brand beautifully. And even today, Nita is wearing, for those of you that are listening to us on audio, check us out on YouTube, because Nita is actually wearing one of our scarves tied into one of our necklaces and made a top out of it, and then doing it with one of the pairs of our pants. But the thing that we were really drawn to with you is just your openness and your ability to take our pieces and make them genuinely your own. Long way of roundabout, while we've known each other, we started talking about your journey and how you and your husband met, which is a great story. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you and Sam met?
Oh gosh. So we both got into fitness at the same time without knowing each other. We started running obstacle course events. And in order to pay for that habit, which is a little expensive, we volunteered to promote the races and do outdoor workouts. That's how we met, was promoting the brand. And, just kind of had an instant connection. His personality is just as dynamic, I think. And we just enjoy having a good time and being like present in whatever it is that we're doing. We're both very, very, very active. And so we've just it's been, gosh, I guess we're at 10 years now that we've been together.
Yeah. And it's when we were talking, when we were doing the shoot sort of behind the scenes a little bit, we started talking about changes in body. And that was something I did want to see if you were comfortable talking about it on the podcast, and you said that you were.
Absolutely.
So we've worked with a lot of clients that have, a lot of our clients, some of them are going through menopause and they might be having body changes in one particular way. There's other clients that have gone on GLP-1 and they're finding that their body's changing in a different way. We have one VVIP client who's been with us she's been shopping with us for nearly a decade. And she had lost weight and then she started putting on muscle, and just talking to people and how we work through those changes in body and the changes in the way you feel when your body changes. And that can be positive, that can be negative. Talk to us about that, because your journey is really amazing, both for you and Sam.
Yeah. So within the last probably 2 years, I've dropped 50 pounds. At my heaviest, I was about 178. And so we started obviously with the whole, let's work out, let's meal prep. We did that for a long time. Sam did a body show. So I was like, oh, well, you're prepping for your show. I'll do the same. Like, I'm never going to get on stage. I'm not that person, but I can work out like I am. And so we built a lot of muscle. And then, as we got older, we're now in our 50s. We decided, okay, we can't live that life forever. That's not a very sustainable lifestyle. We don't plan on getting on stage. And so we kind of honed in on how to make that transition as we get older. And with my weight loss, it has been amazingly crazy because of the amount of weight we lost. Obviously, I had to completely rebuild my wardrobe, like from the ground up.
Yeah.
And it started with shoes. I'm not going to lie. So when Sam met me, my idea of dressing up was actually not wearing leggings and a cutoff shirt.
Okay.
And so he has helped me learn a lot about fashion. He had very nice shoes. He's very much a shoe man. And so I'm like, I should probably get some nicer shoes that aren't from Amazon. And so he took me into a department store here in the complex and really turned me into fashion. I'm like, oh my gosh, we spent a little bit more money, but I was like, wow, it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference,
Yeah.
especially like you're putting so much care into yourself.
Yes.
And then to put so much care into your body, and just in so many ways, like I think so many women do this, and then put on clothes that don't represent all the effort and the attention to detail that you've put into yourself.
Yes.
Just even career-wise, you put all this attention on yourself, and then you're going to put on clothes that maybe don't represent the quality of the person that you are.
Right.
And I do believe very much in buying really beautiful pieces, having them for a long time. Like we actually have on our website, we have a cost per wear calculator. So if you look at something like behind you is the Newbury trench coat, you'll look at the Newbury trench coat and it's not a gentle price point. It's a little bit on the higher end of what we sell, but you go in and you think, I'm going to wear that 30 times in the next year.
Yes.
And then you think, I'm going to have that for the next 15 years. And you do a cost per wear. And it just really shows you that attention to detail and spending a little bit more actually in the long run is probably going to cost you less.
Absolutely. You get what you pay for. That's literally our motto. We get what we pay for.
Yeah.
And we also understand the staple pieces.
Yeah.
That's kind of the stage we're in now. Like, let's find the staple pieces that can blend with everything. And we found that here.
Yeah.
It was really funny. We like to walk the strip. We happened to be walking by. We had never been in the store, but you had a very cute dress. This is how a lot of it starts. There's a very cute dress in the window. And I was like, and I make the comment, oh, that's super cute. Sam will stop, turn around, walk in the store. I'm like, no. But we walked in the store and we were very, very happy we did.
Yeah.
The pieces you have here are unique. They're not pieces that you find everywhere. But they're also pieces that are still staple pieces that you can wear with so many different things. This top, I loved. As soon as I saw it on the mannequin, I'm like, where is this top?
Yeah.
And then when we found out it was a scarf,
Yeah, we're like, it's not actually a top.
We're like, wait a minute, we had not thought of that. I don't have any scarves in my wardrobe. Now I own two, and they're both from here because that is such a unique way to utilize a piece that most people would not have in their wardrobe.
And finding pieces that actually work multiple ways. So we try to, with every piece, that it works at least 3 ways. And I don't want to make this whole podcast about Lindsay Nicholas New York, but I do appreciate the fact and love the fact that you really appreciate our clothes. But if you think about your lifestyle and all the different things you do in your lifestyle, being able to buy one piece that can take you from volunteer work to a corporate environment and still look appropriate in both places.
Right.
That's really tough to do. And I love your openness whenever you come in, when you and Sam come in together, because you think you always come in together, which we love. And Sam's been a wonderful client of ours as well. I love the fact that you're just open. You know, a lot of people get to a stage in their life was like, this is what works for me and this doesn't, and I won't try on this. And we hear every day, you know, I don't like my arms from people, or there's like, it's got to be below the knee. And it's like, just give it a try. Because I think we put rules in our head that then we think are the forever rules.
Yes.
And just being really open to trying new things. And I love that about you. I love that you'll just come in and even we might say, just try this. And you may say yes, you may say no, but it's just it's sort of opening yourself up. I think it's just a nice thing as you get older to not get stuck.
I have tried to instill that in my mom, because the dress that was in the window, we ended up buying for my mom.
Yeah.
And it is a shorter dress, and she would repeatedly say, I can't wear that.
Yeah.
Why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what people think of you? Do you feel good? Do you like it?
100%.
And I love that for her, because she buys pieces now, because before she would not buy anything that showed her arms. And I'm like, Mom, you're so petite, you're cute as a button, like just wear it with us. Who cares? Because if you are confident in it, it doesn't matter what people think about you when you're out in the public. Just, you have the body, enjoy it, because it's not going to be around forever.
And people do, again, the people change, you know, like you put something on, we see it all the time, because we can watch somebody walk out of the fitting room and all of a sudden their posture's different. Like, we never have to ask, do you like that piece? Because we can tell in a split second. And then when people don't, you know, we obviously try to take them to a comfortable place. So you have had now like amazing career, you know, amazing careers, plural, I would actually say that. So if you were starting out now, what would you tell people? What sort of advice could you give people that are starting on that journey?
So I am looking at the bigger picture. I'm always constantly looking at ways that I can advance or move to the next level. Mostly because I get bored quickly, and if I'm not busy, then that I get in trouble. So if I were going to tell myself getting into real estate, you know, now, I would really honestly tell them to dress the part.
Okay.
I think before I was like, you know what, my clients don't care what I wear, but if I'm confident, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, because they trust you, because they know that you know what you're doing.
Yes.
We actually had this conversation, actually, Allie and I were chatting with somebody earlier this week, and the same conversation, just about, you know, you think maybe I can go, I'm showing, this woman actually works in real estate as well, and she was like, maybe if I'm showing downtown, I can be a little bit more, you know, hip and casual, but you still have to have that that air of confidence about you, which only comes from wearing things that make you feel good. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about your clothes. You should be thinking about how your clothes make you feel.
Yes.
And when you walk into a room, and this is something that we really pride ourselves on, when you walk into a room, it's not like, oh, I love that jacket or I love that sweater. It's like, oh my gosh, doesn't Nita look amazing? Doesn't Nita carry herself with confidence? That's the really important part. It's not about the clothes, it's about what the clothes do to you.
You know, and it's really funny that you say that, because I don't know if I've ever not had that feeling when I've walked into a room, but and I know that's kind of probably...
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Don't apologize for that.
I was going to say that might be a little, that might be a little big-headed. But
no, it's wonderful.
But now when I walk into a room, it's interesting, because people will go, oh my gosh, that is such, you look great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird for me to get complimented like that. But I actually get that a lot now. And I mean, working at the city of Fort Worth, when you walk into their building, I mean, it's a government building, so it is a nice building, but it is interesting for the department the people in my department, they'll come over and they'll go, "You're like our fashionista."
Yeah.
And they will come over just to see what I'm wearing, which is so funny to me because I don't feel like I dress up to go to the office because I'm going to the office. But
I love that. I love that.
yes,
And personally, I love working with women that I want to see what they're wearing every single day.
yes,
Like when I used to work in advertising and marketing before like big presentations, a lot of times people would go out and buy a new outfit. So part of the fun,
hmm
which I've always found my job's fun because it has to be fun or I don't want to do
right,
it. Part of the fun was like the morning of the presentation, people would gather in my office and would be like, "Oh my God, I love that." And we would really vibe off each other's clothes.
yes,
And it just gave you that little, I know people think it's not significant, but it is significant because if you're going out for a new business pitch or presenting to a client, you want to feel amazing. And the clothes really help you do that. Like they're
hmm
in some ways an armor,
yes,
in some ways a way for you to represent who you are to people in that room.
yes,
So you're dressing for your personality. So right away I can walk in and say, okay, I've got Nita.
yeah.
Nita's creative and interesting and confident. Just by what you're wearing, people are going to make that assessment.
Yeah.
But it's just fascinating.
I have people that it's interesting because people will be like, okay, it's a t-shirt. Like I can get a t-shirt anywhere. You can, but the
But
quality of that t-shirt is going to make a difference because when Sam puts a t-shirt on that he's had forever and it looks the same as it did the day he bought it,
yes,
and it's amazing because it fits him
yeah,
and it's tailored and it just holds up in the wash and everything else. Man, there are days where I'm like, who is that brand?
yeah,
Because it just looks so good on him. It's not just a t-shirt.
yeah,
And I have learned that it makes a difference. And I love that because he dresses the part. Even if we're just going out for dinner, a lot of times it's like, what are you wearing?
yeah.
And it's so
Do you ever try
goofy.
to match?
Oh my, we do it on accident.
Okay.
So when we're out of town, because he travels a lot, every morning, a lot of the times we will screenshot what we're wearing for the day. And there are more times than not, we're wearing the same colors. And it's so funny because we don't coordinate that
Yeah.
most of the time. And so I actually have an album on Facebook that says, "Do you always match?" Because I had a coworker that asked me one day, she's like, "Do you guys always match?" And
That's
we're
so
like,
funny.
"What do you mean?" And we didn't even notice. We had the same shoes, the whole thing. We do it a lot on
That's very
accident.
funny.
Yeah.
So one of my dearest friends, Michael, and I went on vacation years ago, went to Mexico, and every night before we would go to dinner,
hmm
he was like, what are you wearing? And
Yeah.
I didn't know why he was asking, but he loves fashion as much as I love fashion. And then he would always coordinate his
Yes.
outfits to match mine.
hmm
So Andrew and I, my husband, were going to a wedding a month or so back, and I saw what he was wearing, and he was wearing a blue suit with a pink
hmm
shirt underneath, and I was like, I'm going to wear a blue suit with a shirt underneath. And it was so funny because he just didn't get it. Like he's like, but why would you do that? I was like, so we match.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Well,
But
number one, because your personality when you walk in the room
yeah,
is going to be there, right? And then when they realize that you match, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And people are just like, okay, y'all are so cute. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, but it's our personalities. It makes the clothes don't make us, but it enhances
yeah,
the personality, and it just changes. It changes our attitude when we walk into an establishment,
Yeah.
because we already have the connection. But walking in here, or even into anywhere really, we have people tell us all the time, like, y'all's personality just
Yeah.
draws attention. And I'm like, does it?
It does. Your energy, like when you walk into a room, I think I could be in the back of the store, and if you walk into the room, like I'd know your energy because it arrives even before you do. So, and you guys do have
That's
that when
so
you're
sweet to say.
together. There is just it's almost like a vibration. That there's a vibration when you guys are together. You just play off each other so well.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
And it
Thank
doesn't
you.
always happen when,
Yeah.
couples come into the store. Oftentimes there's there almost needs to be like an approval process where you guys just sort of pile on each other and
Yes.
just go, oh my gosh, I love that. Let's do this with this. And I love watching Sam run around the store
Yes.
and just pull pieces and just be like, here, try this. And it's just such a great dynamic energy.
Yes.
And it's good for the world. I know that sounds like a really
Yeah.
grandiose statement, but when people are in sort of clusters or on their own and they have this amazing energy, people can feel it.
Yeah.
And you go into the grocery store and you've got great energy. I did read this once, it could be garbage, by the way, but I did read that, like, central nervous systems talk to each other before people actually even open their mouths. Like, so if you're walking through the grocery store, your body language and your energy is picking that up from other people. So it's always having just these nice positive pockets of people that are walking around the planet to make energy.
Well, even if that isn't right, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I do. And when someone tries to bring me negative energy when I'm feeling really great, I really just try to go back to being my positive self, because I think it's so much more important than letting other people sort of bring you down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's also, on a side note, there's a great book called 4,000 Weeks. And it's talking about, basically, we have 4,000 weeks to live. Like, that's how few weeks there are.
Wow.
We can put a link to that book in the show notes.
Yes,
I actually
please.
loved it. I loved it. I actually listened to it as an audiobook. And when I was commuting, it is just great, because then you realize some of your 4,000 weeks, you're a kid, or you're not really sort of in your conscious life. You might get to your real conscious life, in your late teens or mid 20s. And then you've got to really take advantage. Like, you've got, if you're living, I think the number's 80 or somewhere in that ballpark, you've got 4,000 Mondays and 4,000 Thursdays.
Gosh.
And, so use them really wisely.
That's so great too, because I kind of feel like I live that life all the time. It's like, I don't worry about the little things, because because at the end of the day, they don't matter. Like, those things don't matter. Let's focus on the important stuff. All the little stuff will just eventually work itself out. So I love that. I might have to look that book up.
I look at old diaries, or what we call diaries in Australia, which is, like your daytimer here.
Right.
So I keep old ones, and every now and again I'll flip through them and I'll see the list that I had when I was working at a certain job. And I'm like, what's that? And at the time, I'm sure I lost sleep over it.
Right.
And then you're reading it now going like, oh, I have to do this and this and this. But at the time it was so emotive. And, I always was a bit of while I have a lot of confidence, I was also a people pleaser. Like, I really wanted people to respect me. I didn't care if they liked me. I've never really cared if people like me. I do care if people respect me.
Right.
And I'm sure there's things in every page on every diary where I'm actually stressing out over something that now you read it and you're like, why would I have wasted any time stressing on that?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's next in the Nita and Sam journey?
So again, because we get bored easily, I had a fleeting moment where I wanted to be an attorney.
Okay.
So I finished my bachelor's degree with my son, by the way. We went to school at the same time, which is funny.
Yeah. In the same classes?
We had a couple of classes together, thankfully, because he helped me pass those classes, but math being one of them, which was so bad for me. But I am about to finish my master's degree in public administration. My husband is finishing his in organizational leadership. So we're going to school together.
That's amazing.
Because I really enjoy the public administration part of what it is I do at the city. And so I'm just going to kind of see what happens, to leave my options open. I love real estate and the ability to do something different every day, because it keeps me not bored. And so I'm just going to kind of leave my options open to see what happens.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I see amazing things in your future, because you already have an amazing today, which is really, again, your energy that you bring into every room that you walk into, you and Sam both, is incredible.
Thank you.
And that's why I'm in Australia and Allie's in the Clear Fork store, and she's sending me pictures of you, just going, you have to meet this lady. By the way, just so everyone knows, you knew we were taking pictures of you, so it's not like we take pictures of you and then send them off. But
not super creepy at all.
We're not creepy. But it was just, and she was like, you have to meet this woman. And I remember you in the spice suit. I just remember the pictures she was sending me, and just the joy that you exude came through even in a picture.
Well, I have to ask you, because your pieces are so unique, what inspires your pieces? Like, where do you come up with, like, the dress that you're wearing? I see so many things on a rack and I'm like, I can't pull that off. And of course, Sam is like, oh no, yes, you can, just go put it on.
Absolutely.
He is how I have learned to just not question. And so when a stylist tells me, no, you just have to try this on, this is going to look amazing on you, I just go in the dressing room and try it on. I might not like it on the hanger, but then when you put it on and you walk out, and y'all's mirrors are just huge. And so to see the whole picture, I'm like, oh, because, pleats, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're coming back. I put on a suit that has pleats, and y'all's pleats.
The Madison suit.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wear high-waisted, and I can wear the Madison suit. So
yes.
the answer to your question is, I've got so many ideas that they're just like, they're in my head all the time. I read magazines. I cut out sheets from every magazine I read. I dog ear the bottom of the page. And then when I finish the magazine, I've got a whole ritual. I tear out the pages. I file them by what type of product they are. And then I tear the back of the magazine so I know I've read it. So I don't wind up sitting having, sushi someplace. And I'm like, oh, here's my magazine. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I already read it.
Yes.
It's such a bummer. But one thing that when people walk in the store, and like a lot of people might come in and do a loop and leave, and it really, I'm just like, try something on.
Yes.
We call it hanger appeal.
Yes.
There's lots of pieces that don't have hanger appeal, but when you put them on a body and when you put them on your body, they work beautifully. So there's never a shortage of ideas, and a lot of designers start with the fabric and then they go to the silhouette. I always start with the silhouette. I have the silhouette in my head. And again, I get a lot of feedback. So people come in the store and try things on. I'm like, oh, that's an amazing idea. The Marcia top that we have is actually named after a beautiful client of ours in Melbourne. And she always came in with the white button down and she always had it tied at the waist.
Yeah.
And I said, one of these days I'm going to make a shirt and I'm going to call it the Marcia and I'm going to name it after you. So I did.
Oh.
And, but I forgot to tell her. And then,
surprise.
Fortunately, it had only been out for about a week. And she just went on the website. She's like, did you just name a shirt after me? And I was like, I did. The Marcia is named after you. But it was fine. But I completely forgot to tell her because sometimes that's how my brain works. But there's, never a shortage. And I just advice to people, and this is what you guys are so wonderful about, come in and try things on.
Yeah.
Because and again, it's not just at our store. Any place you go, you're never going to get the effect of the clothing. And you're not going to get it, honestly, from influencers on Instagram.
Right.
Because everybody's body is different. And you need to try pieces on and see what really suits you, and you'll know.
Yes,
you'll know.
And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a store because of what was on the mannequin in the window. It draws people in
always.
And we have actually told some of the other stores that we shop at, we're like, you need more mannequins.
Yeah.
If you would put these pieces on the mannequin, or if I buy something, I tell them, your mannequin did its job.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're paying them,
yeah.
but they need a raise because they just did their job. Like we try to share that with them because I don't know if it'll go anywhere because, the people in the store only have so much say. But I tell them, like, rearrange, or Sam will tell them, rearrange, because if you put this on a mannequin, you'd sell out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times that's worked for me because I can't picture it on me on a hanger, but I can picture, like, I know what that mannequin's body style, how it changes what I look like.
Yep.
And so it helps me envision because I'm very visual. And so like the top, if it's on a mannequin, I'm like, I might need that.
Yep.
I might need to try that on because that looks super cute on the mannequin.
Yep. Yep.
Even when I was bigger, when I was 178 pounds, I was definitely more of a board. I didn't think I had hips. I didn't think I had a waist. But then the stylist would be like, oh no, this would look great on you.
Yeah.
And I am the high-waisted person. I'm short.
Yeah.
And so put on the high-waisted pants. And I'm like, I can't wear high-waisted pants. I'd put the high-waisted pants on and I'm like, I can wear high-waisted pants.
Throw out the rules. I think that's really important. Throw out the rules. This, I can't wear anything above my knee.
Right.
We have again, I don't want to be completely self-reflecting in this interview, but we have a dress, which is our best-selling piece of all time, is our silk shirt dress. And it comes just above the knee. And a lot of people on my team will tell me, someone came in and tried it on today. People want it moved below the knee. And when I say that to the people that have bought the dress, which is obviously a lot of people, and I know many of them, I say, I think we're going to bring it down a couple of centimeters. They're like, no, don't touch it.
Yeah.
And we actually, Allie and I were having lunch with some amazing stylists from Fort Worth yesterday. And that came into the conversation. It's like, well, maybe that's not the dress. So this dress is for the person that wants it slightly above the knee. We have other dresses for that, but changing something, I always use the example, and I probably have used this example in one of our podcasts before, but Euro Disney coffee. So the folklore, I don't know if this is actually true, but when Euro Disney opened, the Northern Europeans love a weak coffee. The Southern Europeans love a strong coffee. So what Euro Disney did is they made a medium coffee and everyone hated it. So you can't try to please everybody with one piece because everybody's going to gravitate towards something different. You have to let the piece exist for the reason it exists for.
Yes.
And then when you hear over and over, I wish it was below the knee, you find another solution for that client.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important.
Yeah. And for me to look at something online or in a catalog, I have to remember because I am 50, I'm like, I don't want anything too short, even though I don't mind my legs. But then I also have to remember that model is probably not 5'3".
Yep.
So the way it fits on the model is not going to be the way it fits on me. It is going to be longer. And so maybe I do need to go look at that dress in person because that model is probably a few inches taller than me. And so it's going to hang lower because I'm shorter and I have a smaller torso.
Even when we select models, we go to the modeling agencies and we'll get, a lot of the models are 5'10", 6 foot. And we usually try to gravitate towards someone who's 5'8".
Yeah.
Because we know a lot of our clients want to see something that represents. So at least at 5'8", you can sort of say,
right,
it's not like mid-thigh.
Right.
That
it is going to cover my butt.
It is going to cover your butt, where some of the really tall girls, who are amazing, but they just sometimes maybe can distort the clothes because because they're quite tall and beautiful. And as someone who's used to be 5'4", it is probably on my way in the other direction.
Same.
Yeah. I'm going down, but it has been an absolute amazing pleasure having you on the podcast. And I can't thank you enough for being here. And I can't thank you enough for being just not only a client, just a real source of inspiration for me. So I really do appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. I will tell you, this is my first podcast.
Yay.
I tell the agents that I have in my classes, if you don't do social media, do it. People don't care what your presence really is on social media. They just want to see you. If they know you, they're going to know. That's your personality. It's fine.
And be authentic.
I was very excited that you invited me. So thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
That's the Well-Dressed Mind for this week. If this conversation is one you'll think about tomorrow, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, or wherever you listen. Every episode brings something new to the table, and I really don't want you to miss it. I also write companion essays on Substack, a little more of what doesn't always make it on air. The link is in the show notes. And remember, fashion isn't frivolous. It never was. See you next time.